Howdy, everybody. Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, bringing you episode 3 of the Safety Sucks vlog. I just can't believe that we're already on episode 3. It absolutely blows my mind. We're 3 episodes deep, and I'm still in the process of unpacking from our move. You've seen kind of the struggle, all the fun that is. I'm sure you can relate. If you've moved at any point in your life, it just absolutely kind of sort of sucks. But today is going to be an absolutely amazing day. I actually slept in for a few minutes. I'm starting my morning here kind of late. Today's technically a day off. We'll call it a day off for me. I'm doing some stuff, working with some of my clients, doing some other things, working on the book, just a little bit. But it's a day off today because I'm going to go do one of my most favorite things to do. I'm going to go get some more tattoos. I'm going to get some of those like sweet Post Malone face tattoos. I'm just kidding. I'm going to get like a Safety Sucks like right here. Like right under my, not happening, promise that's not happening. Working on some new stuff on my leg, and I'll show you towards the end of today's video. Let's see kind of what the progress is, and then I'll decide if you get a sneak peek at that or not. But I got to record some podcasts today too. I've got to write a little bit, and I've got to work with some clients. So that's a typical day off. For me, that's a typical day off. I'm getting things ready for the weekend so I can actually take some time to relax. And that's super duper important. I know that I kind of show myself kind of going ham all the time. And I try my best to do that. I'm one of these kind of people. I'm the type of person that just really likes to go full speed ahead as much as I possibly can. That's kind of my happy spot, my happy space. That's my happy space, right? I like to be super duper busy. That's just, my family's like that. We're all like that. We just like to be kind of on the go all the time, rocking and rolling. But even with that, we have to plan some weekends where we just kind of shut the computer, we just kind of turn off the outside world, and we just kind of go have some fun. And that's what we're planning on doing this weekend. But I've got to run. I'm going to go work on some coaching stuff. I'm going to go work on some book stuff. I'm going to go do all that kind of sort of stuff. And then in a couple hours, I'm going to go get some needle time. And again, I'll show you kind of what that looks like. But before I let you go, don't forget, do me a favor, head over to thehopnerd.com, head over to hopuniversity.org. We help you do all things safety better over there. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching with moi or any of the other kind of stuff that we've got cooking over there, again, hit me up, check it out. It's super fun. And follow along on all things social media and check out the podcast. If you're not listening to the podcast, I just kind of assume that you are, and that's probably my bad, that if you found these vlogs, that you're probably already listening to the podcast. But if you're not, head over to the Hop Nerd podcast, subscribe, listen in. It's a ton of fun. I have to say hi to the Hop Nerd vlog. Before we do this, you'll get to be the first podcast guest to be viewed.
Very cool. I like the vlog.
What's up, everybody? We're on our way. We're going to the tattoo spot. Well, I am. Avery's going to
work with Jarrell.
Bring your daughter to work day, huh? You excited? You
Yeah.
excited to go hang out in the Hopsicle at the hospital? Bring your daughter to work day. It's gonna be super cool. While I'm off running around getting a tattoo because somebody's on spring break, right? They've been having an amazing spring break time, so we're on our way. We're off. Here we go. Where we at?
Jarrell's work.
Dropping off Avery for Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. How exciting. You've been to my work, haven't you?
Yep.
Pretty fun, huh? You like going to the power plants, huh? Kind of sort of cool to see a power plant, isn't it? It's like little kid awesomeness, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. When you get a little bit older, then we have field trips that come there too. That'll be kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Getting ready to drop Avery off, and then I'm late. I'm usually not late, but I'm so late today.
Yeah, because Jarrell was so slow.
Jarrell's slow. We're waiting on Dad, right? We're waiting on Jarrell. So we're so slow. I'm gonna be late. Oh, I hate being late. I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of person I can't stand.
And Jarrell's always
He's gonna
late.
tattle.
Jarrell's always late, but he always wants to be first.
I like being early. I can't stand being late. It's this thing that other people's time is valuable, right? And I feel like if I'm late, I'm trying to say that my time is more valuable than theirs. I can't do it. It's awful. If I'm late, it makes everyone's my day. So I'm trying to hurry. We're hurrying up and waiting right now. Are you excited? Are you excited to go check out the Hopsicle? It's gonna be a lot of fun, huh? No? Yeah? No? Yeah? Yeah. Early morning times. Hanging out at the studio, up early. Mondays, right? I don't know, Mondays are kind of good for me. I like Mondays. I get up super early, most days, not just Mondays, and I jump in here at the studio and get a bunch of stuff done. I kind of, type away and record and do podcasts. I've got a bunch of stuff going on this week, and I'm super excited about it, recording a few podcasts. So if you're not following along on the Hop Nerd Podcast, you should. We've got a couple new guests coming up over this week. I'm going on a couple other podcasts, so Bolo, be on the lookout for that as well. But most of what I'm going to do today is I'm going to record the message for this blog and do some other stuff. I'm still kind of tinkering away at Safety Sucks, the manifesto, getting that thing ready, which comes out in May, and I've got my gigantic cold brew coffee. That's going to sustain me through today's adventures. And here we go. Let's have a great Monday. Howdy, everybody. Happy early morning hours here from the Pale Horse Media Co. studios in the sunny and the beautiful downtown Phoenix, Arizona. I hope that you're doing absolutely marvelous wherever you find yourself in this big, wild, wacky, and wonky world. Pale Horse Media Co. studios, home of the safety misfits, the safety outlaws, the safety others, the curious innovators that want to do things maybe a little bit better. Today I wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about the origins of the original Safety Sucks book. Safety Sucks, the bullshit in the safety profession they don't tell you about, and then tell you a little bit about the upcoming book, Safety Sucks, the Manifesto. This really neat project that I'm working on with my co-author, Ian Allison. So if you're not following along with Ian, make sure that you go check him out. He's got a really awesome podcast as well called Native Film Talk, and it's totally not safety stuff. Am I right? Like, isn't that like fun to find something that's not safety as well, that's not kind of in our wheelhouse, to go kind of expand your mind a little bit? He does a phenomenal job with his show, and just an awesome person, awesome friend, awesome safety professional to boot. I mean, just absolutely awesome. So I'm telling you all that just to say, make sure that you're following along with everything that Ian is doing as well. And the book comes out in May. I'm super duper excited. So to get into a little bit of the story of the original Safety Sucks, we got to go kind of like way back, the beginnings of my time in the safety profession. But I started in the safety profession at a pretty young age, right? Like most folks, I kind of picked up out of high school, ran away to college for a bit. I found out that I was really bored in college. And I had friends that were doing something that looked really exciting. They were like fighting fires and driving fire trucks and riding in ambulances and doing all this kind of cool sort of stuff. So I quickly picked up everything and just like ran away and became a firefighter, medic, and did all that stuff for a while. While I was doing this, I kind of heard about nuclear power plant outages, right? Refueling outages. So I had some friends kind of steer me in that direction, and they're like, hey, you should really try this. This is something you probably really enjoy. So I did. I ran off and I did that, and I started working projects, traveling all around the country, working in nuclear power plants all across the United States. And that's ultimately what led me to my first experience with safety as a profession. Now, to shorten this story and kind of cut out a bunch of the middle so this doesn't end up being like a 30-minute explanation, I was interested, right? It piqued my interest. So I'd fallen in love with industry. I'd fallen in love with power generation. It was just super duper cool to me. Just the stuff that we did in that industry just blew my mind, right? Stuff that shouldn't be possible, that through people power we made possible. Just cool. Just super cool to me. So I decided I wanted to work my way into the safety profession. I could couple my love that I had discovered in the world of fire and EMS, of helping people, right? Of helping people and serving my community. I could couple that passion with this newfound love of power generation. And the kind of middle point for that was the safety profession. So to become a safety professional, I asked other safety people. Fortunately, they steered me in the right direction, pointed me in the direction of some education and some training and on and on and on, right? And they eventually gave me a shot as low as you can get as a safety professional. And that's a great place to start, and that's an excellent place to start. And then full steam ahead. A few years later, I found myself as a site safety manager. I'd worked up through several different kind of levels of different organizations to find myself managing other safety professionals and kind of overseeing throughout projects, right? Some pretty large projects, some pretty large facilities. But at this point in my career is when I was really exposed or became aware of the sucks of the safety profession. Early on, you have this shine of newness that is kind of washing over you, and you just don't notice these things. You might notice them, but even if you do, you kind of assume that, well, this is just how it's supposed to be. I'm new, I don't know. These people clearly know, they accept this stuff. So this just must be how it's supposed to be. So fast forward yet again, get a little forward into this. I'm at a site, just a massive site, a power generating station, and I'm to the point where I'm just ready to walk away. I'm just done. I'm ready to walk away. I've got my boxes packed. I've got half of a resignation letter saved on my computer. I just have to finish it up, proofread it, send it, and walk out the door. I'm to the point to where I am ready to just do anything other than safety at this point in my career. Anything, just anything. I'm just done. You have this sinking feeling that I've just wasted the first 5 or 6 years of my life in this industry, an industry that I now love, doing something that is useless, that is harmful, not only to the folks that I'm supposed to be helping, but to me. I'm done, right? I'm just over it. I'm totally done. And I had a friend. I was sharing a cube with them. I had a friend, power plants, sometimes you want to stay and get a little kind of crowded. And they knew that I was pretty much done. You share a cube with somebody long enough, they kind of figure out when you're done. They know you're burned out. They know when you're sad. They know when you're happy, etc. Right? They know. And I came in one day, and in my office mail, which is the chair, right? Your rolly chair is your mailbox. They had sent a book, which was Safety Differently by Sidney Dekker. And I started reading this book, and it just blew my mind, and that sent me down this rabbit hole of all things safety better. But I still had the sucks to deal with. And for me personally, the organization I was working for, it was not my home anymore. I had to move on. I picked up, I moved on, and I found what I like to describe as a unicorn employer, an employer that actually understands, at least somewhat understands, how to care and feed for safety professionals. So again, fast forward just a little bit more. Here I am, the Hop Nerd Podcast has launched, several years down the road, working for my unicorn employer. I'm sitting there and I'm reflecting back on all the sucks that I'd experienced over the course of my time in the safety profession. What really sent me down that rabbit hole is the fact that I was working for a unicorn employer, and we still had a lot of these sucks present. Maybe not all, and maybe not to the same degree as with maybe other employers that started writing something which turned into a LinkedIn article, which I published, called The 6 Sucks of the Safety Profession. It's still available on my LinkedIn if you want to go kind of dig that up and find it. That little 1,000-word, 1,500-word blog is what started the book, Safety Sucks, the bullshit in the safety profession they don't tell you about. The response for me was overwhelming. Right, I started getting emails, text. My phone number's out there, so I get text messages too. I got DMs. I got lots of comments, and just people getting a hold of me, sharing the same or similar stories. Some made me laugh, some made me cry, everything in between. But all of that led me to a couple kind of epiphanies. I wasn't alone. It wasn't just me. I wasn't the only one, because most of us, a good chunk of us, are either lone wolf safety professionals or we're in an extremely small and decentralized safety department, right, to where there's one of us here and then 1,000 miles that way is our nearest peer. But you don't really get to have a lot of these conversations. Sometimes you're not allowed to have these kind of conversations. In our industry, we're still not supposed to really have some of these conversations. The suck was systemic. It wasn't just me. For a long time, and it's really easy for us to fall in this trap and think, well, this is just me. I'm just not good at safety. I just can't handle this. I'm just not cut out for this. That's rarely true. That's rarely true. And I discovered that wasn't true. This shit was systemic. It spanned industries. It spanned companies. Wherever the safety profession was, of all the folks that I talked to, wherever our people, wherever we were at, the suck existed in some degree or another. It was always there. It was ever present. The second piece to this is it made me realize that somebody needed to do something about it. And I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately, but I ended up being at least that somebody for the time being, or being one of those somebodies. So in my mind, I never set out to write the book. I decided, well, there's something here. I'm a firm believer that if you press on something and there's pain, you probably need to press on it a whole lot more. Right? Pain is a good indicator that there's something there to fix. Pain is a good indicator that there's some tension there and we need to break up that tension. So I sit down to write another article, a follow-up article. I thought, well, one article is great. 2 articles are going to be even better. So I sit down super early, just like today, super duper early in the morning. I sit down to write the article, and then I looked up and it was dark again, and I had written half the book, it feels like, and there you go. That's kind of how the original book came into existence. Now, in the second book, Safety Sucks, the Manifesto, we want to take a deeper dive into where those sucks stem from. So in the original book, we really paint this clear picture, or a pretty inclusive picture, of kind of the sucks that we experience within the professional practice of safety. It's almost a safety memoir-ish thing that focuses on maybe the not so great stuff of our job. In the second book, we're going down these kind of deeper rabbit holes and diving into the underlying assumptions that shape our views of the professional practice of safety, and even deeper, right, that shape our views of occupational safety and health in general. Because as safety practitioners, we're ultimately just working to support those views, right? We're working to support the views that our organizations hold, the values that our organizations hold, the assumptions that lead to those values within our organization. We're working to support all of that stuff. So if I had to kind of summarize it into something, those 2 books into something that's really just high level and not super helpful descriptions, I would say that Safety Sucks, the bullshit in the safety profession they don't tell you about, is kind of more of the problem statement. Safety Sucks, the Manifesto, is more of the curative side. I won't say the cure. There's 1,000, there's 1,000,000 right ways to do the same thing, but it's mine and my dear friend Ian Allison's opinions from our experience in safety as to how we can better the safety profession, how we can just make safety suck less in general. With all that being said, we have to admit that the safety profession and just the way that we approach safety in general as organizations, as practitioners, as leaders is stale and starchy, and it is just the old tried and true safe ways that we've collectively agreed is the best way to do things. In many cases, the one right way to do things. Now, that one right way has left us wanting for more. We keep having a lot of the same problems. We keep maiming and killing within our industries with frequency. And when we continue to do that, we just say, we land on this notion that if we just do it faster and harder and better. If we just do more of the tried and true approaches, then things will finally get better. We try to do those things harder. We tell people to care more because if people only cared more, things would finally get better. We tell them to follow the rules more because if they just followed the rules, everything would be fine. We continue to lean into these ideas that if we can just prevent the little things in our organizations, then we'll stop maiming and killing people in confined spaces. That if we can just stop people from tripping over thin air in our parking lots, then we'll finally stop them from killing themselves with electrical contact. We hold true in these ideas that if we just manage the little things, we can stop the big things. With that, we have to believe that all incidents, can't say accidents, all incidents are preventable. And all of this leads us down this path of saying that what we need in safety is an ultimate zero. We need absolute zero if we want to get where we want to go. Because if we have zero down here, we have zero everywhere, and we've just solved safety and the world is fine. When the shit eventually finds a fan, rather than reflecting back on the effectiveness of our tried and true starchy stale ways, we just do them harder, thinking that we're going to get a different result. When bad stuff happens, rather than digging into learning and actually trying to make things better, we write more rules. We preach to our front line a sermon about caring more. We beat and blame and shame safety professionals for failing to predict and prevent. We blame leaders for not oversighting harder. And we just continue down this path of safety insanity. With all of this in mind, is it any wonder that safety professionals struggle to connect with frontline employees? Is it any wonder that they struggle to reach the folks at the top or at the middle of the organization? Is it any wonder that we love what our job stands for, but we hate what it has become? Is it really that baffling that we just can't seem to make any positive change in our workplaces? We continue to cling to these strange beliefs. These beliefs that say that if we just rid scrapes and bumps and bruises from our organization, we'll finally stop cutting off arms. If we finally stop people from bumping their knees, then we'll finally stop people from gouging out their eyes. That if we can just finally get people to care enough about not dying at work, then they'll just stop dying at work. We continue to cling to this strange belief that we get better by just doing the same thing harder. We get better by doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's how we get better. We continue to hold on to this belief that if we finally just fix people, then everything will be well. As people, as practitioners, as organizations, as industries, we're in love with easy. Just about everything that we talked about is easy button safety. It's easy. It seems great. It sounds morally perfect on the surface. That of course we don't want people to get hurt at work. But when we hear that, when a normal, sane person outside of our world hears this statement, we don't want anyone to get hurt at work, what they usually hear is something like this. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're 100% right. We don't want people to get maimed and killed at work. That's horrible. People should not die at work just going out trying to make a living for themselves and their family. But that's not what we mean. That's not what we mean at all. When we say that, we're meaning this. What we say as organizations is this. When we say we don't want people to get hurt at work, we say we don't want them to get a bump, a scrape, not even a headache from something that's not work-related. They're not allowed to have anything, because if there's anything, that crumbles our entire idea that we prevent the big stuff by getting rid of the little stuff. And if Bob gets a headache because he just got a migraine at work, that means he's going to die later in a confined space. We must have absolute zero. Safety doesn't have to be this way. Safety shouldn't be this way. Let's cut the bullshit and say right now that we have a long road ahead of us in making safety suck less. But every battle, every mind that we have to fight to change, every inch that we gain is well worth our time and effort. We must fight for what our profession truly stands for enriching the lives, for bettering the lives of all those that we touch. Safety shouldn't suck. I can't wait to write the book, Safety Sucked, rather than Safety Sucks. We owe it to the people that our profession is supposed to serve. We owe it to ourselves to create a safety profession that's actually helpful and impactful and stands for bettering and enriching people's lives. We must create a safety profession that affords us the opportunity to make the world a better place to work. Any other pursuit is just not worth our time. Well, what did you think about it? I like it. I kind of like it. I'm getting into this vlog stuff just a little bit. I'm not there yet, but it'll get there. It's evolving. It's getting better. They're getting longer. Hopefully, I'll be able to contain it down to 15 minutes. You know me, I'm long-winded. But let me know, sam@thehopnerd.com, all that kind of sort of stuff. You know how to get a hold of me, slide into the DMs, social media, LinkedIn, blah, 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 blah. You know how to let me know your thoughts and let me know what you want to hear me talk about. I've got to wrap up some stuff here at Pale Horse Media Co. Studios, and then I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to drive home, I'm going to put my feet up for a second, then I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do all that kind of sort of stuff. And my most favorite part of the day, I'm going to do some family stuff. So I'll catch you in a minute. Then we're gonna go look at house stuff.
Like for our new house.
And then we're gonna go do chores.
Yep.
And then we're gonna go to the park. Why'd you turn off my light?
Good.
She turned off my light. How rude. Yours before we go to the park.
Did you put my other video in the box up?
I'm gonna put it. How about I put it in?
What about you put stickers, like the things that go in videos?
Right here.
We moved a little bit ago, so I'm gonna be doing a challenge wearing a deer face in a box forever. So that's what I'm gonna be spending time in.